Relocation is nothing new, and people have been moving across the country, zigzagging for many, many decades. But over the last 5 to 10 years, this pace has picked up, and there's been a very clear migration strategy. Thousands of people are packing their bags and moving, and it's not where you would expect. From Texas to North Carolina, is Charlotte the better long-term play? And is San Antonio lost its charm? Or is San Antonio still the value king? Today, I'm breaking down where both Charlotte and San Antonio, Texas win, and where they fall short, so you can make the best choice before packing those bags. Now, be sure to watch all the way through, because I'm going to be sharing with you not only stats and data, but I'm also going to be sharing with you what my clients have said in moving from Texas, specifically even San Antonio, to Charlotte, North Carolina, and how it's better and how it doesn't always match up. So stay tuned to the very end. So the first thing that I want to point out with regards to San Antonio versus Charlotte, these cities are actually very similar in size. The Charlotte metro population as of 2024 was 2,880,000 residents. This includes Charlotte, Concord, and Gastonia regions. Similarly, San Antonio has a population as of 2024 of 2.76 individuals living in and around their metro area. Now, this is going to include San Antonio and New Braunfels. Now, with both of these cities being so similar in size and population, you probably expect some major similarities. Well, there certainly are, but there's also some major differences. So let's talk a little bit about the economy. Who's strong and who's not? Well, they're both really great cities, and from a job market and economy standpoint, both have a lot of benefits. Now, San Antonio has a strong market with a large private sector backing. Now, this includes things like USAA, which has about 17,000 jobs locally, HEB, which has about 20,000 jobs in the region, and Methodist Health. Now, some of the larger businesses and industries in the San Antonio market includes health, defense, federal services, and even logistics. Recent updates from the GMP have shown that this is growing, which is a good sign when we're talking about a city's stability. So, in essence, the economy is strong. If you're thinking about moving to Charlotte or want to know everything about the Charlotte, North Carolina and upstate of South Carolina markets, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You've come to the right channel. I'm 𝗖𝘁, your Charlotte, North Carolina real estate expert. And every single day, we get people just like you moving to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. That's you. Drop down into the description below. All of our contact information is there. Whether you're moving across the world, across the country, or just across town, we're here to make your move everything you want it to be. Now, here's where things are going not as well. There have been major shifts in wages. And yes, those shifts have stagnated the market when it comes to pay, which is increasing that gap of cost of living and affordability. Cost of living has gone up like it has in many areas of the country, but the stagnation on pay definitely has not helped. In addition to that, there's a lot of uncertainty, and it's not as stable when you're working in healthcare industries as well as large government contracts, which are always changing. Now, Charlotte also has a really strong economy. As the second largest banking capital in the United States, we have a huge financial backbone here in Charlotte, and that is our main industry. From strong finance as well as many corporate headquarters here in Charlotte and the surrounding area, it's bringing a ton of jobs and a lot of money flowing into the city. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Lowe's, Electrolux, as well as other hubs that are popping up with regards to Google, Facebook, and even Amazon, which has become a powerhouse in the Charlotte area. Now, there are many hubs that are coming to Charlotte, and actually a lot that are planned. And a lot of that actually has to do with some of the legislature in North Carolina, which is bringing these large corporations in. The corporations come, the jobs come with it, and it increases the opportunity for the people that live in our area and in our region. Between finance, healthcare, distribution, and even the tech industry, there's a lot that's growing here in the Charlotte market. Now, one of the downsides, as we are a large banking capital, second largest, we are, of course, vulnerable to banking cycles, and that means things that are happening in the financial world. Here's what I can tell you. Even with the challenges that we have faced really on a national market when it comes to financing, finances, and of course the overall economy, we have still stayed strong. In fact, our population has grown, our job market has actually grown, as well as our cost of living has remained relatively stable in our market. And one of the good things is, even though we are a large financial district, because of all those large corporations that are moving their headquarters into the Charlotte region, is taking a little bit of that heat off of some of those financial institutions that did have to go through layoffs as interest rates increased and the need for their employees had been reduced. So it's a nice seesaw effect that we've got in the Charlotte market, but it keeps the job market strong. So let's talk a little bit about that job market, shall we? Both cities have strong job markets and their unemployment rates are low, between 3 and 4%. So they've both got that going for them. Now, while unemployment rates remain low between both of these cities, actually well below the national average, one of the other things we like to look at is how much job growth is occurring within these cities. San Antonio sadly is showing less job growth than that of Charlotte. Still fairly even, still showing a little bit of a lag behind Charlotte, and a lot of that has to do with the types of industries that are in each of our cities. As I mentioned, with San Antonio being a lot of defense, as well as healthcare and logistics, some of that stagnates and it has its own cycles, which means that job opportunities come and they go. With Charlotte and the growing need for finance as well as healthcare, gosh, I feel like they're putting a new hospital in every other day, health as well as tech and distribution and large headquarters, we are seeing growth a lot of the time because these large corporations are moving in, the population is increasing, and all those other industries revolve around their success is because we have an increase in population. So as the population grows, these other industries and opportunity for jobs are going to increase with it. So while San Antonio might have some more steady sectors in industry, Charlotte certainly focuses on faster white collar and corporate ladder climb. Now, neither of these are wrong, but if you want to scale earnings quickly and increase your income, Charlotte is probably the better city for you. So speaking of population increasing, making the job market actually stronger, and that beautiful little cycle that Charlotte has fallen into, let's talk a little bit about population growth. As I mentioned, in our 2024 census report, there are over 2,880,000 individuals in the Charlotte metro. Between July of 2023 and July of 2024, we actually added over 23,000 people to our Charlotte metro area. Now, on average, we net about 115 people a day. It sways from day to day and month to month, but that's a very steady flow of individuals into the Charlotte market. In that same window, North Carolina saw 82,000 net domestic movers. That is a big chunk of population growth, and they're coming from various areas in the country. Now, with San Antonio at 2.76 million, that is still a pretty large city, but with that, their population growth has definitely not been nearly the size and scale of North Carolina or Charlotte in particular. Texas, in fact, is seeing actually a lot of people moving out of Texas, even those that made Texas home, especially during COVID times. Now, the demographics of both cities also vary quite a bit, with San Antonio, especially being so close to our southern border, actually has a very strong Latino and Hispanic population in the area, which I'm sure makes for great food. I love Latin food. It's probably one of my favorite top 3 favorite foods, just saying. So I'm a little jealous of you guys in San Antonio. Now, Charlotte has a lot of corporate transplants, again, with the HQs being here in Charlotte. So we're getting people from a variety of areas of the country, but we also have a very rapidly growing international and foreign-born growth. A lot of this has to do with our location, with Charlotte Douglas International Airport providing literally nonstop flights to many areas of the world, not just the country, and making it so easy to get into the city. That's one of the major pulls and draws to those that are coming from overseas. In addition to that, with again the strong job market and large corporate headquarters being in the Charlotte area, this is also improving and expanding. Now, one of the major benefits of this, aside from amazing new cultures coming into the Charlotte area, Charlotte has become quite the melting pot. In addition, going back to food, can you tell I'm hungry? The food scene has improved dramatically, and we have some incredible cuisine. Now, one of the other really cool things about Charlotte is we do have a huge mix when it comes to demographics. Not your national average percentages. In fact, we have a really healthy mix of people from all across the world and all across the country from all walks of life. So let's talk a little bit about extreme weather. I actually got this call from someone just the other day. I said, Kayla, do you guys get hurricanes and tornadoes and, blizzards and things like that? I said, we don't get any of those things here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So let me compare some of the major differences between not only everyday weather, but especially extreme weather between Charlotte and San Antonio. First off, San Antonio is way hotter than Charlotte, North Carolina. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, it is much, much hotter. The annual mean temperature in San Antonio is between 16 and 73 degrees. Comparatively, Charlotte is at about 59 degrees. That means your averages throughout the year. But let me tell you something about San Antonio. You guys have some record highs and have been definitely steady in the 100-degree range, whereas Charlotte just isn't. Charlotte summers are usually in the mid-90s. Now we do touch about 100 degrees, but it's not consistent. We may have a day or two and then it goes back to normal. Now when it comes to our winters, they're extremely mild. So we're not getting things like snow hardly at all. In fact, our last largest snowfall, or substantial, I grew up in New York, so flurries don't count, but our last substantial snowfall was in 2014 when we received a whopping 8 to 9 inches of snow. I know, can you believe it? So that's about the most we get, a sprinkle here and there. So we still have very mild winters, but our summers are still doable, which means you can actually go outside. So let's talk a little bit about extreme weather. The state of Texas has more billion with a B billion-dollar weather events historically between 1980 and 2024 than North Carolina. Now, while the coast of North Carolina is heavily impacted by tropical cyclones and our occasional hurricanes, the risk and the damage pretty much ends there. So when we're comparing San Antonio, which again does get exposed to these Texas extreme weather events, Charlotte specifically doesn't have this issue. San Antonio, you've got heat, drought, large flooding issues, but Charlotte, rarely any flooding at all, and the occasional snowstorm, which, as I mentioned, most recent was almost 10, 11, 12 years ago. So it's not something that we run into a lot, and it doesn't impact our daily lives. Now, when you're comparing these two cities, this is certainly something to take into account. Insurance, cooling and heating bills, and potential disaster repairs. These are the real line items for affordability and something you need to be taking into account. San Antonio does have lower average home prices, which does make entry-level affordability a little bit easier. And in addition to this, it does also have lower homes and more volume of them. The only caveat is you might have to drive a little ways to get to it. Stats are showing about average price range between $240 and $255 or so in the San Antonio area for a very small starter home. Now, here's the interesting thing. This city has seen a decline in the pricing in their area. What that means is you could have bought a home last year and now it's potentially worth less on the open market than it was the year you bought it. Now, that's definitely not what we want to see. We want to see steady growth. A lot of this is going to come with the demand. So if you've got an increase in population in the area, you get more influx of people, more people willing to pay for the home, and that price rises. That's how you keep that market strong. The other thing that you're seeing in San Antonio is you actually have a little bit more inventory coming into the market. New construction inventory booms have created more opportunity, which is actually making new construction more affordable than resale. Isn't that crazy? So what this is going to do is the more opportunity to purchase, the more inventory, the lower the prices actually go, which is showing a receding value in homes in the San Antonio area. Now, a difference, Charlotte does have higher than average prices, or higher than the averages in San Antonio. However, it also shows really strong appreciation all the way from 2010 and through the 2023 and beyond. More demand for corporate relocation, hires, and as I mentioned earlier, a lot of corporate headquarters come into the area, increasing the job market, is making a higher demand for people in the area and a higher demand for housing. While the median home value in the Charlotte market is between $400,000 and $450,000, what you are starting to see in the Charlotte market is a little bit of softening over the last 2 years, but we've actually started to see a bit of an increase in the valuation percentage or percentage value increase over the last year. Now, the biggest challenge with the Charlotte housing market in comparison to San Antonio is that we do have those slightly higher average prices. Now, this isn't something you should shy away from, as the benefit to being in Charlotte is because we do have that strong economy. So what you buy today is going to be worth more in the coming years. Like San Antonio, it seems to be backstepping just a little bit due to lower population growth and lesser companies moving to the area. Now, where both of these cities are winning and running on pretty much all cylinders is outdoors and entertainment. Now, due to the fairly moderate temperatures aside from summer, in San Antonio, there are a lot of things to do outside. Hiking, biking, events, music, etc. Where Charlotte's different is we have an entire year of fairly reasonable temperatures and weather conditions. So that means in the middle of summer, you can be out and about, going on the greenways, enjoying our local parks, as well as a lot of our restaurants have outdoor seating, so you're always going to see people outside. The cool thing is, even in winter, we're still outside. Many people even have all-season rooms on their back porches where they add heaters to their screened-in porch, and boom, you can use it all the way through winter. Now, the biggest benefit when comparing Charlotte to San Antonio, Charlotte gives you a lot of accessibility to other areas of our state. As we all know, it could take an entire 19-hour trip to cross the state of Texas. Here in North Carolina, things are a little bit more reachable. If you're living in Charlotte, you can actually get to the mountains, especially Asheville and Boone area, in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. You could be at the beach surfing and hanging out with the fam in about 3.5 hours, and that's 3 different types of beaches in different areas. So there's a lot of proximity and more you can do just outside of the local area, which also makes Charlotte extremely enticing. So which one is better for you? San Antonio with that strong local identity and deep cultural roots, but a little bit of a fade in the job market and fading in the population? Or is it Charlotte, a bustling city that's a bit more fast-paced with a corporate, suburban, and even a rural mix, offering more opportunity on housing, increase in job market and the economy, and much better weather so you can get out, get active, and truly enjoy everything our Canopy City has to offer? While the choice is yours, it's certainly worth a visit, and it's worth trading off the comparisons as to what makes sense for you, your family, and your future. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, be sure to hit it below and stay up to date on everything Charlotte, North Carolina, and some other comparisons on some great cities across the country. I'm Kayla Lindsay, your Charlotte, North Carolina real estate expert, and every single day we really are getting calls, texts, emails, and Zoom invites from people who are just like you, looking to make the move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So if that's you, drop into that description below. All of our contact information is there. And yes, we really do answer all of our calls, texts, and emails. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days across the world, across the country, or simply across town, we're here to make your move everything you want it to be. Until next time, I look forward to showing you around town. Making the move, there's a lot of videos that you can be watching, like this one right here, or maybe even this one. Really either one of these, but honestly, watch both of them because they're going to help you make the move. Go ahead, pick one. They're both really good.